Russia's recognition of the independence of temporarily occupied Ukrainian territories can play into the hands of Ukraine in the diplomatic area, experts suggest. Firstly, such statements are the actual recognition that Russia occupied the territories in 2014. Secondly, Ukraine will have one more argument for the UN Security Council and international courts. This is very good news, because since Putin has spoken and the Duma makes such decision, it means that the attempt to intimidate Ukraine and the West with military dances has failed, and the Kremlin is starting to figure it out. And now they begin to scare Ukraine and especially Zelensky. It will personally hit him hard with these talks about recognition. This is not a direct military action, which means you can drive off the sanctions acting mighty bigoted. Kyiv will not accept Moscow's offer to introduce occupied territories into Ukraine on the terms of autonomy. Analysts are sure about that, and the Kremlin knows it. However, they manipulate this topic, fueling the conflict. The next act of Russia's recognition of the occupation took place. I think the step was taken today in Russia is to record that enclaves have the status of their interpretation as republics. That's what they insisted on. The implementation of Minsk II, as they interpret. Ukraine must amend the constitution if it wants to return these territories as two autonomous republics. If Putin signs the appeal of the State Duma, there is a risk that the forces of collective security trade organization may enter the temporarily uncontrolled territories, as happened during the protest in Kazakhstan. No Minsk agreements may be fulfilled after such act, they say in parliament. This vote means the end of Minsk as such, that is, Minsk was buried. The Russian Federation nailed the coffin. This removes any question about the statement that they are not there. This removes any question that Russia demanding any changes from Ukraine. Forget it. The new sanctions must be imposed on Russia. This is another act of aggression against Ukraine. This means the actual burial of the Minsk agreements by Russia. This means that Ukraine has every reason to finally abandon the agreements. It is necessary to consider a mechanism to ensure that this document in principle is so no longer referenced, and all risk, all danger associated with this document can be removed. Today, the Ukrainian parliament addressed the international partners and foreign governments considering the escalation of the situation around Ukraine by the Russian Federation. We thank you for upholding our territorial integrity. We understand all the threats that exist. We evaluate them, and of course the Rada should refer to the fact that today, for example, we have Seimas of the Lithuanian parliament and our good friends from different parties, and everyone in the Lithuanian parliament, everyone supports Ukraine, which includes, as you can see, transferring weapons from the Baltic countries. The Ukrainian Ministry of Foreign Affairs is sure that the recognition by Russia of the independence of certain territories of Donetsk and Luhansk regions will not have only legal consequences. In the official statement, it is said that such a decision would be destructive for the international legal order. We call on Moscow to take a constructive stance towards achieving progress in the framework of the existing negotiation formats. Otherwise, Russia will bear full responsibility for ruining the Minsk agreements and the process of peaceful settlement of the armed conflict, from the official statement on the website of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs of Ukraine. In addition, the Ukrainian delegation to the Trilateral Contact Group addressed the special representative of the OSCE chairperson in office in Ukraine and the OSCE representative to the TCG with a call to urgently convene extraordinary consultations in order to obtain a plan of further actions from the Russian delegation.